Hey everybody, this is Modern Refugee. We're out here on the big lake today doing a little kayak practice. When you live in Michigan, you're never too far from water. And eventually, the longer that you live in Michigan, eventually you're going to be out on this water, either kayaking or swimming or canoeing or recreational boating. You're going to be doing some of that stuff. And that's what we're out here today, just enjoying some of the sun and the water. It's kind of cool today. It's in probably about 60 degrees. Got a little bit of a breeze blowing, so we can't go out too far. We already tried going out a little bit further, but it's just a little bit too rough. We're kind of in the inside here. You can see the shore along back behind me here. But anyway, we're going to show you some of the sights, and we're going to show you a little of the gear that we took along on this little trip here, kind of gear that I always like to take when we go kayaking or canoeing or tubing or anything like that. It's sort of different than some of the stuff that I carry when I go hiking and stuff, so I'll show you guys that stuff too. But anyway, we're going to get a little bit further along here. We'll stop a couple times and we'll show you some more of the sights. One thing that I'm going to tell you guys, when you go out on the water, never take anything that you can't afford to lose. So anything expensive, any really expensive or really precious gear to you, you know, knives, sidearms, all that stuff, it's not a good idea to take it out here on the water because you can literally lose anything out here. All it takes is one little mishap and everything's in the drink. So that's something you always want to keep in mind. You want to take expendable items when you're going out on the water. And there was a rock we just went over. One thing that I took with us today to carry our gear in is actually a dry bag. And one advantage of a dry bag over a backpack is you can fill it full of air and you can put a weight in it. I actually have one of the MREs in this, what I took with us today. And you can actually put this on your recovery line and then you could toss it to somebody that's in trouble, because this is actually an improvised flotation device. See if I can show you here. So you could throw that out to somebody. That's probably 12 feet or so right there that I just threw that out with just one try. And somebody could grab onto that, and then with that cord on there, you could pull them back to wherever that you were at. But one good thing about having a dry bag with you. All right, guys, I'm going to show you some of the other stuff that I carry with me when we go out on these water adventures, whether it's canoeing or tubing or kayak or anything like that. I normally take some type of bag. It's either going to be a dry bag or it's going to be a backpack. Now, I've used backpacks before, and yeah, stuff can get wet in a backpack, but I pretty much pack all my stuff in some type of waterproof container, or I use stuff that's inherently waterproof anyway. And when you go canoeing and kayaking and tubing and stuff, you're going to get wet. It's just part of the game, so I don't worry about that too much. Today I'm actually using a dry bag, and I actually carrying water today. If you're going out for 4 or 5 hours, just take some water with you. But I am a prepper, so I actually carry ways to filter water on these trips too. Now, I don't carry stuff like bush pots and stoves when we go out here in the water, because that can cause problems. You know, camp stoves can get wet. They can sputter out on you, and sometimes you can't find anything dry to burn, and it would be a pain in the ass to have to boil water to get yourself some emergency water if something happened. So I basically carry a Sawyer Mini, carry a couple of big bottles of water like this that I can screw the Sawyer Mini on, so we could just dip something out of the lake if we had to get emergency water. But anything that you dip out of the lake here and you filter it, it's going to taste like shit. So I'm just going to warn you on that. right from the get-go. MREs. MREs are kind of my favorite thing to take out canoeing and kayak and stuff like that, because this is waterproof, so I don't have to worry about my food or anything getting contaminated. Don't have to, like, you know, boil water like a mountain house when you're out doing stuff like this and waste water that you could be drinking on your food. If you're going to be out for a half a day and you want to have lunch, just throw an MRE in your pack with you. And the same thing, you know, stuff like these Lara bars and stuff, put in a Ziploc bag. They're going to be pretty much inherently waterproof, whether they're in a backpack or in a dry bag. I carry real basic first aid stuff. There's been times, there was one time in particular where there was we were tubing on one of the rivers up here, and we got flagged down by some drunk people, of course. And the one girl, she got stung by something pretty nasty, and I don't know what stung her, but she had a welt about the size of a grapefruit with a big purple spot in it, and she was definitely in distress. But because I had a little bit of stuff with me, I was able to pack that full of a little Benadryl cream and give her some Motrin, and kind of help her out with the situation that she was in. And that leads to another thing that I have here, is I have a compass. I always go out on the water with a compass, and that particular guy that day, that was her boyfriend or whatever, he wanted to walk to maybe go get help or get a signal where you could make a call on a cell phone, and I told him which direction that he needed to walk, because I had a compass with me. And a compass is always important when you're out here on the water, because if something would happen where your visibility is impaired, you need to know which direction shore is. For where we are here, shore is south. So before we even go out on the water, I let everybody in my party know which direction's south, so if something happens, we can get back to shore, and with just basic instructions. So that's why a compass is important. Another thing is a knife. I don't carry a belt knife with me when we go out on the water, because it's a pain in the ass with a personal flotation device and stuff, and then you got a belt on. It's just more gear that can get tangled up. So I go with a neck knife whenever I'm out on the water, because it's easy to access, it's easy to get to, it can be tucked in, it can be tucked underneath personal flotation devices and shirts, and it's out of the way, but yet I can still reach up and I can still grab my gear from underneath if I need it, if something's tangled up or something that needs to get cut. And another thing is a phone case. One phone in your party needs to be in a waterproof case, and it needs to be attached to your boat or kayak or whatever that is. If something happens, everybody else's phones get wet, everybody goes in the drink, you get this phone out and you can call for help. You always want to keep one phone dry and in a case. Another thing, I got orange on this stuff here. A lot of life vests that are geared toward fishing and hunting are going to be green brown. They blend in with the green brown water that's out here, so it's a good idea to take a little bit of orange duct tape and throw it on that, so you got a little high vis, so if something falls in or gets tangled up, it can be spotted a lot easier. Because if you're wearing a green life vest and you fall into green water, that's not going to help you out for the people that are trying to find you if something does go wrong. And another thing, and which is something we've already used today, I'm not a big schmog guy, but for something out on the water, I like taking a schmog, because it's basically a towel. My wife, she got her hands pretty wet here, wanted to dry off before we shot this video here, and I could just reach in and pull one of the schmogs out so she could dry off to go ahead and do that. So that's basically the gear that we got on this trip here. You can see that it compacts down pretty nicely. And another thing with these dry bags is you take the gear out of them, fill them full of air, you fold them up. These will float as well, so they're basically an improvised flotation device as well. But anyway, we're going to get back out here on the water and show you a few more sights. Way off in the distance there, you can see the lighthouse. See the white caps coming in on the other side of this little rock break wall they got here. That's kind of what protects this cove, is these rocks along here. Couple of the other safety things that I keep on me, just keep them attached to my life vest, is one, it's a whistle. A whistle is a pretty standard item to have on a boat anyway. But then I also have a small piece of orange cloth as a signal flag if that would be needed as well. You can just use any really piece of orange cloth that you have for that. Something that you could use as a signal flag or whatever if something happened. A lot of rocks out here, rocky bottom. I don't know if you can see that there in the water. All kinds of rocks. All these rocks are from the glaciers, because this is all granite. There's no volcanic activity in Michigan, so a lot of the rocks, they were pushed down here by the glaciers in the Great Lakes. Well, guys, we're back up on shore now. Hope you guys enjoyed this little trip here on Lake Huron. Just showing you some of the things that I take with me when we go out on the lake. Special thanks to my buddy who let me borrow his kayak for this video. And you get a chance to go out and explore your local area, by all means, go and do that. That is something that I don't think preppers do enough of, is explore their own area and find out what's out there. But anyway, this is Modern Refugee. Appreciate all my subscribers out there. Hope you guys got a little entertainment, a little information out of this video as usual. And you guys have a great day.